All right, peace and blessings, my brothers and my sisters. Shalom, shalom, shalom. If I were to see you individually, I might ask, Ma shlemech or Ma shlemcha. Like, what's happening? What's going on with you? How are you? Hey, Shabbat Shalom, not Shabbat Shalom. I'm used to saying Shabbat Shalom. But Shalom to each and every one of you. This is Yom Arvi'i, and we are here for another wonderful session, another wonderful time. We're going to be digging into Bereshit chapter 4, Bereshit 4, and we're also going to be talking about the Word of the Most High. It's going to be another wonderful time, and hey, just one of those things that we're going to do, and we're going to love every minute, every second of it. So glad that you're here. Be right back.
See, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms, to root out and to pull down, to destroy and to throw down, to build and to plant.
All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Delighted that you're here. And once again, I'm Malkir Uriel. And yes, that is my name in Hebrew. And I want to say to each and every one of you, I'm glad that you are here. We're going to have a good time, but we're not going to stretch it out 3 hours. We're not going to stretch it out 2 hours. In fact, this is going to be another session where we honor your time and where we give you something to think about, we give you something to study, something to look at, but yet and still we do it in a way that we don't take all night doing it, okay? It's my desire that this would be less than an hour, whether it be a half an hour, 45 minutes, hey, who knows? But that's the goal, that's what we're going to do, but it will definitely be shorter than some of the other sessions that you may be used to. So one of the things that I want to say is that, as you know, we give all praises to the Most High. We are Hebrews. We are Yah only. We are Tanakh only. We serve and worship only Him, and we follow the Tanakh. We follow it in its entirety, and we stand by the word of our Elohim. And we understand that there are many things that could be said about the word. We cannot say them all tonight, but we give all praises to the Most High. and we do love and appreciate our family. Love and appreciate you, those of you that are here, and those of you that will see this. Please understand that we are definitely Hebrews that love to get into the scriptures, but as well, we're not only those that get into scriptures, we pray and we praise. And at this time, it is time for us to pray. So I ask that you forgive anyone that you need to forgive. If you're upset about something, release it and let it go. Get yourself ready, because dress your spirit up correctly, because we are getting ready to go before the Most High. And we are here to magnify the Most High, and we are here to pray before Him. Ya'o Eloheinu, אנחנו אומרים לפניך ששמע ישראל, יאו אלוהינו, יאו אחד. אנחנו אומרים לפניך שזה בגלל אורך שאנחנו הצדיקים שלך. ברוך אתה בשמיים והארץ, בכל הדברים שאנחנו עושות. אנחנו העם של הברית שלך. We say first, forgive us, Most High. סליחה לנו גם רחם לנו. Forgive us and have mercy upon us. It is because of you that we are your righteous people before you. You know that we are the people of your covenant, and so we stand upon your word. And we would say before you, teach us, illuminate us. Our hearts are open before you, our ears, our eyes. They are open before you. Thank you for this time. Thank you for the brothers and the sisters that are the family that's coming into the room now. Thank you for those that are in the chat room. Thank you for everyone that will see this. May they be strengthened, and may they know you more, Most High. And may they be convinced to walk ever closer to you, despite everything that we may experience. B'Shimchayo, in your name, Gamrak Shimchayo, and only your name, we pray. And we thank you for all things. Aman wa aman. Aman wa aman. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Just take a moment of peace. Breathe in, breathe out, just a moment of peace. If your day's been like mine, it's been busy. So we relax and we experience the peace that the Most High has for us. Aman wa aman. And as well, not only do we pray, but us, we want to give the Most High praise, and it's that time. And so what I want to do is I want to go in with one that we haven't done in a while. I could always do all praises to the Most High, right? I do love that. But this is one that we have not done in quite a while. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to go here. And yes, this is Psalm 31, 1 and part of 2. Here we go. In thee, oh Lord, do I put all my trust in you. In thy righteousness, and bow down thine ear to me. Bow down thine ear unto me, and deliver me speedily. You're my strong rock, strong rock. Forever my strong rock, yeah. In thee, oh Yahweh, I put all my trust in you. Let me never be ashamed. I will never be ashamed in you. Deliver us in thy righteousness, and bow down thine ear unto us. Bow down thine ear unto us, and deliver us speedily. Oh, a strong rock, forever my strong rock, sing it again, say. Let me never be ashamed. Let me never be ashamed in you. Deliver me in thy righteousness, and bow down thine ear unto me. Bow down thine ear unto me, and deliver me speedily. You're my strong rock, forever my strong rock, let it play, play. All right. We got a lesson to get into, right? Can't be quick and then trying to sing all night. Can't do that. But we love to praise and magnify the Most High. Let me do this. Let me stop by the chat room and let me just say, hey to those that are here. Wow, peace and blessings to each and every one of you. To my brother, my day one, my brother Bergen Paris. Peace and blessings to you. He is the chief moderator, Josh and Penny. My family, I love them. They are here also helping. They are also moderators. And I want to say as well, my brother George Evans is in the house. Peace and blessings to you, my brother George Evans. And we also have Christine Croning up in the house. We're glad that you are here, Christine. Glad that you're here, Christine. And who else done snuck up in here? Let's see. All right, looks like that. Oh, Breezy's girl. Oh, Breezy's girl is here, y'all. Peace and blessings to you, Breezy's girl. Glad that you are here. Glad that you are here. Yes, yes. Peace and blessings to you, Breezy's girl. Who else is here? Okay, looks like that's it for now. We're going to go ahead and get into some scriptures. We're going to talk about some things, and it is going to be a good time in the Most High. But let's do this first. We're going to do a little bit of a station ID, and we'll be right back. Hi, I'm Melchior Uriel, and I'm so delighted to meet you. I'm glad that you stopped by. I'm glad that you're curious, and I'm glad that you clicked on the video. All right. So on last week, we actually did begin Genesis chapter 4, and we dealt with Cain. We dealt with how he himself was in a little bit of, he was in a funk. He had an issue. He had problems. And we did discuss at length in a previous session about the epigenetics behind the Cain saga and behind what Cain did and so forth and so on. And we did talk about that. And so my desire is to not repeat any of that, but merely allude to it and give you an opportunity to go and find the video. But not only that, we also talked about Cain, and we talked about Abel. We talked about even some of the nuances. And in previous sessions, we talked about some of the nuances that you find in the book of Jubilees. Now, we understand that the Apocrypha is not the word of the Most High, but from it, we can gather some insights and even some historical insights, but there are many things that we have to watch out for, even with the Apocrypha. Now, that this is not our topic for tonight, so we're not going to focus on that. We're going to step to the side, and we're going to continue with what we were discussing. One of the things that we will discuss as we were talking about Cain and Abel, we talked about how Adam knew Eve, his wife, and how they bore and so forth and so on. And we also talked about a number of other issues about how the Most High had to come and speak with Cain and deal with him because of his spiritual turmoil that he was going through. He had a time, right, where he just went through the spiritual turmoil, and of course, he made the wrong decision. So Cain, then, we know that the Most High told Cain, sin is laying at the door, but you're going to rule over sin if you make the right choice. And I just want to start there, and I want to reiterate that because this is something that escapes many who look at this particular story, and they look at it and they forget that there is a nugget of gold wrapped in that particular truth that's in Genesis 4. Found in verse number 7, where the Most High said, you know what, sin is waiting for you and it wants to attack you, but you have to be willing to be attacked. You're going to have to lay down and let it do its thing. But what you're able to do is you're able to rule over it. And I remind each and every one of you that this was after they so-called bit the apple, and mankind itself fell from grace or fell from glory. Well, that is a lie from the pit. Because I'll be honest with you, even Cain himself had an opportunity to speak with the Most High. And I'm going to tell you that when the Most High came to him and appeared to him, it was in such a way that it was spectacular enough for him to take notice and have dialogue with the Most High. And that is an honor. I don't care what age you live in. And I would say this, that when we take a look at Cain, we understand that while he was a troubled brother, and he ended up doing the wrong thing, he did have a chance and an opportunity to do the right thing, and it was even highlighted by the Most High. The Most High said, you know what, you do have a chance to do the right thing, but the choice is yours. Now, we know that Cain himself, that he made the wrong decision, okay, and he actually killed his brother, right? Now, something of interest we find here in Breshit, let's just simply go here real quick. Something that we find in Breshit that is of interest to us, and you know what, looks like I'm going to have to adjust something because I'm trying to show you the scriptures, and I tell you, sometimes technology goes left when you're going right. And what I'm going to do is, just for the sake, I don't know if I should try that. You know what I'm going to do? We're going to do another ID. I'm going to fix this real quick, and then we're going to dive into chapter 4. Be right back. There are increasing numbers of Hebrew Israelites all over the world, from Asia to Africa, from Mexico to Germany. There are Hebrew Israelites that are coming together as a nation and as a family, and you are needed. You are needed to take your place as the educator of your families, your sons, your daughters. So we want you to enroll in Navi Beit University so that you can take your place in the kingdom. Now is the time to prepare to create Hebraically centered scholarly materials to educate others, to teach your family, to teach your sons, your daughters, to teach the young, to teach the old, and to bring them into the knowledge of the Most High. The Most High is gathering us together as He has promised. So enroll in Navi Beit University, connect with the administrator and the registrars, and enroll today for just $35 for a bachelor's per month, or $45 for a master's, or even enroll in the doctorate program. You can get a degree with a Hebraic focus at Navi Beit University. Hebraic education, undergraduate, graduate, and specialty courses. All right, so here we are. We are definitely back, and I want to, there we go. I think we're good to go now. I think everything is golden. I think we are ready. Let's do this. Let's go back into Breshit 4, and I want to point some things out. And first of all, I want you to see this here. It says in verse number 9, as I read, it says, "And Yah said unto Cain, Where is Abel your brother?" Right? We know that he made the wrong choice, but now here is something that is interesting, because Cain denies knowing his brother, as we pick up from where we left off in chapter 4. And the Most High says something that is of interest in verse number 10. He said, "What have you done?" Right? "Because the voice of your brother's blood cries unto me from the ground." This has always been interesting to me, because we have to understand that the earth that we live on, this planet that we live on, actually does have, now I'm going to say this, and it may be somewhat controversial to some of you, but if you stop and look at the scriptures, you will then understand that what I'm saying is really true. That the earth does have consciousness, and the earth has a level of consciousness, and it is alive within itself. Not because it is a conglomeration of bacterium and, single-celled, little microorganisms. No, I'm not talking about alive in that way. I'm talking about the very substance of the earth itself, the very planet, has consciousness. It has the ability to obey the Most High. When you take a look at what the scriptures declare that one of the reasons why we are to do what is right before the Most High, follow His laws and statutes and commandments, it says that, that there's a reason why we need to do that, because we want to be able to stay wherever it is that the Most High has planted us. We want to be able to stay there, and guess what? We will not be able to stay if we do not obey the Most High. Well, what is going to happen? Well, the scriptures declare, the Most High declared, that if we do not do what is right before Him, that the land itself I need you to hear this. I need you to hear this. He said that the land itself is going to vomit us out, right? So the land itself is going to vomit us out. It's going to spew us out. And so it's one of those things where we look at it and we say, wow. Now, I'm sorry. I know it's gross. I'm mentioning this. I've been sick before and I've had to, give up the cookies, give back my lunch. And I'm sure that you have done the same thing. Well, okay, the only way that that happens is if you have a conscious being. If you have a conscious being, if there is someone conscious, and not only that, but they have a system that is monitoring what is within it, and then it finds the necessity, if you will. It finds the necessity to give back what has been given to it, and guess what? We are that way before the Most High. The Most High said that, you know what, if you don't obey me, then yes, then the land is going to vomit you out. Okay, and so with that being the case, there has to be a level of consciousness there. What about when you plant a seed? Okay, what about when you plant a seed in the earth, right? And how the seed works with the soil, and the soil knows what to do, and the seed knows what to do as well. And next thing you know, you have vegetation, and you have a living ecosystem that's thriving. Well, you don't get that unless there's some sort of consciousness. Now, I could point to the fact that there's also consciousness, deep levels of consciousness within the human body as well. Of course, we know that we've experienced things where we did not physically or mentally concentrate on that, but something happened automatically because our body has a level of consciousness as well, beyond our intellect, beyond our reasoning, and beyond our ability to pay attention. Well, the land, the earth, is also alive, and the earth itself, okay, the earth itself is created. It was created by the Most High, but it is within itself. It has a level of consciousness and beauty that can only be described as alive. Okay, the scripture that I mentioned is Leviticus 18:25. It says, "And the land is defiled, therefore I do visit the iniquity thereof upon it, and the land itself vomits out her inhabitants." So it says here, and it draws emphasis in saying that the land itself, pointing to the personage of the land, or this place that we call earth, and it says that it is going to vomit you out. Well, let's also go to Leviticus. This was Leviticus 18:26. Now I'm going to Leviticus, I believe it's 20 and 22. I could have that backwards. Notice what it says: "Ye shall therefore keep all my statutes and all my judgments, and do them, that the land where I bring you to dwell in spew you not out." And again, this is not saying, well, I'm going to tell the land to spew you out. This is saying that the land itself will spew you out. Going back to the previous scripture in Leviticus 18, it says that the land itself, it will spew you out. It will vomit you out. Okay? Yeah. It will spew you out. I mean, I can't say it. We can't say it any plainer. It's right there. So in taking a look at it, it's one of those things where we understand then that the land mass, okay, if you own property, you own a home, you should connect with your land, okay, and bless the Most High with the intention of understanding that your land also has consciousness, and you should be speaking over your land, right? And even if you don't own land, you should speak. You should speak to the portion of the earth that the Most High wants you to own, wants you to have. wants to give you a piece of, right? Even in these temporary times until we get into the promised land and we are able to inherit that which belonged to our ancestors, yes. And oh, what a wonderful day that will be, right? But even now, understand that there is a land consciousness and there is a connection between you and the land, okay? Now, as quiet as it is kept, you see it in the Tanakh where there are, and see, I opening up this can, but back in the day, the worldview was that the different spirits or idols or deities or whatever you want to call them, that they were territorial and that they had their own plot of land and certain spiritual entities ruled over that part of the land. And then you go someplace else and yeah, you find something else. You find someone else, you know, another supposed spiritual being. Well, this brings us, and excuse me for going here, I really need to get back into Bereshit chapter 4. But this is why when you look at Ezekiel and what Ezekiel saw as he was by the river Kabar, and you look at Isaiah 6, and you look at all the happenings and everything that Isaiah saw, the reason why he was astounded was because he too held the worldview that the spirit that they worship, okay, the Elohim that they worship, only was in Jerusalem, was only in Jerusalem. And so when he was by the river Kabar in Babylon, and he beheld and he saw the wheels turning within wheels, and he saw the cherubim, and he saw the ophanim, and all of the splendors of glory, he was amazed on a number of different levels, because he thought, just like everyone else, that the Most High was territorial, right? But he later had to come into an understanding, and I believe all of humanity had to come into an understanding, that it is definitely the Most High, it is definitely the Most High that runs and that has created and that rules over all of the earth. That's why when you take a look at in the book of Isaiah, you go to the 14th chapter, notice the Most High tells the prophet to speak against Tyre and speak against Babylon and speak against Egypt and speak against the different nations of the world. Why? Because they all belong to the Most High. Contrary to what Dr. High, may he rest in peace, Dr. Michael Heiser, contrary to his theorem, where, you know, the sons, the B'nai Elohim, are actually fighting to take over Daddy's position, and Daddy got to beat them all down, like as if the Most High is playing whack-a-mole. He's got to beat them all down and make sure that they behave themselves, and then finally take over the whole earth and wrestle these kingdoms away from his own sons. Hogwash. Hogwash. The reason why the Most High could speak to Tyre and Zidon and Egypt and Babylon and all of the other places is because he already owns all the kingdoms. All of them belong to him. Okay? With that being stated, there is an important land connection. Okay? And so we see here in Bereshit chapter 4 that the land itself speaks into this situation. And not only that, but the blood of Abel is crying unto the Most High from the ground. And so the Most High is here talking to Cain. And what is interesting here is that, now listen, we're going to have to get to the end of this, right? Without me spending too much time. I've already really talked more about some things than I did chapter 4. So let me kind of catch up here and let's move on. And notice what's happening here. We read verse number 10. And what is interesting here is verse number 11. It says, "Now you are cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. When you till the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto you her strength." So the land that has consciousness knows who it's dealing with, because apparently the land, which has a spiritual element to it, has the ability to discern and to know spiritually who it is that is on it, that is messing with it, that is around it, right? Now, with that being the case, the land itself has got to be going crazy today. With everything that is happening and the wicked that are here, the evil elite, the land has absolutely got to be going bonkers. And so I believe that that's why we are starting to see many things by means of natural disasters and so forth and so on. I mean, there are things happening on this planet where nature is turning against. Nature's turning against what certain individuals are trying to do. And I don't believe for a moment that creation is happy. I don't believe that this I'm talking about the earth itself. I don't believe that she is happy. I'm saying she because of what is written in scripture right here in verse number 12, with the Most High called the ground a she. Okay. And I'm just simply saying, and for those of you that want to see that, I'll show it to you right here in verse number 12. The Most High says that when you till the ground, ha'adamah, when you till the ground, guess what? Ha'adamah, she is not going to yield her strength. Okay? She is not going to yield her strength because you are wicked, because you are evil. Okay? She's not going to yield her strength. So, she's not going to do it. Okay? When you till the ground, she's not going to yield to you. Okay? She's not going to yield to you, Cain. Why? Because she knows who she's dealing with. She knows who she's dealing with. And as we take a look here, and as we continue, I need to hurry. Verse number 13, and Cain said to the Most High, he says, my punishment is greater than what I can bear. He said, this is too much. Now, this is interesting because this tells you a little bit about what Cain was really after. Cain was after inclusion. He wanted to be included, but notice the judgment. And the Most High understood what Cain was really after. It wasn't so much that now I'm gathering this, and this is definitely some supposition, but I don't think that Cain, in my opinion, I don't think that Cain really hated his brother at all. I don't think that Cain hated him. I think that Cain was jealous of him. I think that Cain wanted to be included. I think he wanted to be in that inner circle, because think about it for a second. Adam and Eve would have been in that inner circle. Okay. Now Abel's in that inner circle. And so now here is Cain is kind of like what you see on TikTok and YouTube, where people are like, I want my money, and they clap, somebody else, I want my money, and someone else clap, right? And then when the last person goes up, I want my money. And when it's silent, yes, it's definitely funny, right? And then they catch on to it, and then, of course, they find someone else, and then they do the same thing. Well, my point is, Cain wanted inclusion, okay? It's evident by his punishment that Cain wanted inclusion. And I know some people have said, well, what about the part where the Most High tells Cain, hey, whoever finds you, I'm not going to let them kill you, okay? What we don't understand was even though this seems merciful, and it was grace and mercy on behalf of Cain, yet and still it was torture to him, because it pushed Cain farther away from what it was that he truly wanted. People would not kill him, but they would shun him. He would not be included. He said it, I am gonna be a vagabond. Now listen, being a nomad and having to travel in order to allow the flock to feed, that was not uncommon. I mean, it would have been something that he would have had to do. So, that Abel had to do, and he would have known that. But when you take a look here, he says, I'm going to be a fugitive. That's what I'm going to be, and a vagabond. And Cain is specifically drawing attention to the fact that he is going to be, for the most part, lonely and rejected. Okay? He is going to be lonely. He is going to be rejected. And let me just see something here. The word vagabond, I'm going to be caused to move and to wander to and fro. In other words, I'm going to be lonely, unstable, okay? And in that, you know what they say, misery loves company, right? So in that, there he is. He's in this state, right? And in the earth, to the earth, he's a vagabond. And it shall come to pass that everyone that finds me shall slay me. And Yah said unto him, look at verse number 15, and then we're going to move on. And Yah said unto him, therefore, whosoever slays Cain, vengeance will be taken upon him sevenfold. And Yah set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him. And there's been lots of discussion about what that mark is. The mark is this, the mark is that. Well, we weren't there. We don't know what that mark is, okay? We can speculate, but we do not know what that mark was. So let's just move forward. And so Cain ended up finding someone in his issue, okay? And this is even amazing to me, because I know some people will say, well, okay, well, if they were the only people on the planet, then how did Cain get married? Well, it is true. It is true that when you look at the beginning story, it does give us insight into the fact that this is the first family, right? But what happens is an amount of time passed, right? And Cain married someone that was younger than him. Now, there are traditions that say that Adam and Eve bore twins, two sets of twins. There was a daughter that was born with Cain, and there was another daughter that was born with Abel. And so one, if I recall the names correctly, one was Achliah and the other one was Luluah. And so these two daughters were, some have said, well, that's really what Cain and Abel were fighting over. That's really what they were upset about, right? Others said, well, if you read in the book of Jubilees, it says, well, no, Abel's sheep were eating up some of Cain's crops, and he didn't like it, and so they were encroaching on each other's ventures, and so, yeah, he got mad and he killed him. Well, all of that speculation is exactly that. It's speculation. The text does not bear it out, okay? What we do know is that from the text, Cain did get married, and if you look at the way that they were having children, it's not difficult to understand that when time goes by, they would have sets of children, almost like playing leapfrog. Have sets of children, wait about 75 years, and then have another batch of children, okay? And with everyone doing that, you then get, more people on the planet. Now, I know as well, there's another theory that says, well, there were actually other people on the planet as well. There were other people that were here. And so really what was happening was, well, this may have been a different set of human beings, and these other people later died out and so forth and so on. Well, again, the text really does not bear that out. We cannot say that with certainty, and so I'm not going to embellish the text. I will give you my opinion in some places, but I will not embellish the text and make it say what it does not say. So as we take a look here, it should be noted that it is in the lineage of Cain that cities began to be built, and we go through lineage here, and there is something that I really do like to point out when it comes to the genealogies and when it comes to the baguettes, as they call them, right? Now, when you look at this, I'm just going to begin at verse number 18. And I just want to point out something. I want to point out something that I feel is beautiful. And Enoch was born, and unto Enoch was born Irad, and Irad begot Mahuyael. Mahuyael begot Methuselah. Methusael, and Methusael begot Lamech, and Lamech took unto him 2 wives. The name of one was Adah, and the name of the other was Zillah. And Adah bare Yabal, and he was the father of such as dwell in tents, and of such as have cattle, and his brother's name was Yubal. And Yuval and his father was the father of all such as handle the harp and the organ or the pipe. Not talking about a Hammond B3. We're talking about a pipe here when it says organ. And Zillah, she also bare Tubal-Cain, an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron. And the sister of Tubal-Cain was Naamah. And Lamech said unto his 2 wives, Adah and Zillah, hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech. Okay. Hear me. He says, you know what, I just killed somebody for wounding me, and I killed a young man, because he hurt me. I sure did. And he says, if Cain shall be avenged 7-fold, truly Lamech shall be avenged 70 and 7-fold. Well, no. Here's what I want to show you. And this is what I think is beautiful, because you will come across some of the genealogies where it is not as explicit as this, but this is very explicit. We get into Tubal-Cain, and we get into Naamah, we get into those who played the harp, invented the harp, those who invented the flute, and those who were workers of brass and iron, okay? And for the most part, when you look at this, you don't read too much more about these individuals, because apparently then this was their contribution to mankind. They were born to bring about these things. Now, I know some people say, well, when you read the book of Enoch, the things that we read here are also listed in the book of Enoch as knowledge that came down from the Nephilim. Well, with that being the case, if that is so, one of the things I want to say is that what we find here is we find then a shifting of the then known society, the then known culture, and we find that shifting. However, I would have an issue with that because the Nephilim are not introduced yet, okay? And so I understand someone might say, well, Genesis isn't really in chronological order. You have to understand that. And so it is possible, it is feasible that, of course, we do have a changing of the culture here in Genesis 4. We have the influence, if you will, the possible influence of the Nephilim and those who taught magic and dark arts and so forth and so on. It is possible that these things began, okay, at this particular time, okay, which we would be a couple of chapters ahead of the game, but it is possible. I simply want to say that it is possible, though it is not conclusive. So, but there are other genealogies that are even more beautiful to me, and they are the more simpler ones. It's where you read, and so-and-so begot so-and-so, and so-and-so begot so-and-so, and that's all you know of them, right? So-and-so begot so-and-so. Well, how is that beautiful? It's beautiful because the divine purpose that they had was simply to survive, simply to live, simply to have a family and live a normal life. That is your divine mandate, okay? That's your purpose, to just survive. And so they begot one, they begot another, and they had a family. I think that that's a beautiful thing myself, where your divine purpose is to bring life, and your divine purpose is to simply survive, okay? So as we continue here, we're getting to the end of chapter 4, and we read here in chapter 4, verse number 25, and Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son, and called his name Seth. For Elohim, said she, hath appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew. And to Seth, to him also there was born a son, and he called his name Enos. Then began men to call upon the name of Yah. And then we get to chapter 5. Well, we're going to stop right here, and we're going to just very briefly, we know that we have just a few more moments, and I want to see if there are any questions or comments that you might have. If you do have questions or comments, I will be right back, and we will definitely take a look at your comments, and it'll be time to ask. And now is the time to ask your question. Yes, you can ask. Now is the time to ask anything that you may desire about Bereshit chapter 4. Okay? So let me tiptoe into the chat room and let me just see here. Let me see. All right. Looks like there are no questions. Peace and blessings to Uni, who says, my only hope is in ya. Oh, Uni Big Tree. All right. Peace and blessings to you. Yeah, you know, I feel that it's very important for us to allow the text to say what it says. Now, I will agree that many may not be ready to hear everything that it says, but you must be able to listen to what the text says and not read into it what you want it to say. This is the problem with dogma. This is the problem with those who come to the Tanakh with a religious stance already hardened and congealed, and then they try to make the Tanakh say exactly what they want it to say. Interesting. Josh and Penny said, the name Tubal-Cain in Genesis. I have not seen it until today. Yeah, Tubal-Cain. Interesting, is it? It is an interesting name. And I mean, there's not much I can say about it, but hey, it is. I don't know. I think I was about to tease someone about their name, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to be nice. It's not anyone in here, and they wouldn't hear me. It's just that I don't want that energy of teasing someone, and I don't want that energy in here. So, please, absolutely give me your questions. I don't see any questions as of yet. But I want to read this. This is something that Christine Croning said. She says, only the earth can keep us grounded physically. Yah created the earth so that we need to be sustained by the land, and we remain grounded cellularly. Yes, that is very true. And in fact, those of us that are here, we actually have a symbiotic relationship with the earth, in that we give it what it needs, and it gives us what we need. Okay. Aside from the fact that every mineral in the human body can be found in the very dirt that we walk on, the fact that if you and I've seen people do this, if you plant a garden, okay, if you plant a garden and before you put the seed in the ground, you put it in your mouth, okay, and you allow your saliva, I know how it sounds, but you allow your saliva to mix with it. You take that seed out. When you plant that seed, okay, and I've seen other people do this, that seed will then grow, and it'll provide specific nutrients that your body needs. And it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. The plant will adjust itself based upon what you need. Now, I've also heard it said that the energy that you contain, that the plants themselves connect with that energy and will respond by growing what you need in your own backyard. Like for instance, many of us don't realize. In fact, when I was a kid, I heard a woman tell a testimony, and she was like, "Y'all, we were in church, right? But this was actually a testimony that I heard on radio. Somebody was playing the church service, and this woman got up and she said, "Y'all, I was so hungry." And she said, "Oh, I was so hungry, I didn't even know what to do." And she said, "I prayed and I prayed. And I feel like the Lord told me to go outside in my backyard, and there wasn't nothing but weeds out there, wasn't nothing but dandelions out there. And I feel like the Lord told me to pick them dandelion greens." Well, yeah, now people are buying dandelion greens and buying the dried leaves that have been made a tea, and now it's so medicinal and so helpful for you, right? But your land is connected to you. Now listen, let me say this. Even if you don't own property, you can get some pots, put them on your balcony, or put them in front of your window that gets the most light. Get you some dirt, and that will be your earth. That can be your garden, right? So there are many things that you can do. And I love what Brother George Evans says. He says the trees and humans are connected. They're connected consciously because we give plants, carbon dioxide to live, and in return, they give us oxygen. That's just what I mean by the symbiotic relationship between us and between nature. And there's a whole lot more. We have not even scratched the surface, at least not in this place, not in this setting. We have not, even on this channel, we have not scratched the surface of the spirituality behind nature, and the spirituality that is interwoven into nature, and how it benefits us as a people and benefits our bodies. Yeah, Uni, you said it right. This is the significance of us being in our land and eating our own crops. That's what I'm talking about. That is exactly what I'm talking about. That is exactly what I'm talking about. And yes, Joshua and Penny, that's interesting. He said Paul would do that. Yeah. I mean, because what's happening is, even from the standpoint of the chemicals in your body, I mean, chemistry happens between the earth and the seed, and us and the earth and the trees and everything. Chemistry happens. Biological, communication on a DNA level also happens. So, and yeah, that's right, Uni. He says, I see why Yah stresses the connection between us and our land, because there is a divine connection. There is definitely a divine connection between us and the land. Well, it looks like I'm going to give you just a few more minutes if there's any questions. If not, then hey, we're going to have to do the backstroke. I'm going to skedaddle, and we'll have to hang it here for next time. And so, with that being stated, give me just a second. I will be right back. And I think I'm going to actually do that one more time. Hi, I'm Melchior Uriel, and I'm so delighted to meet you. I'm glad that you stopped by. I'm glad that you're curious, and I'm glad that you clicked on the video. All right. Well, hey, I've enjoyed the time that we've had together. Thank you, my brothers and my sisters, I want to say. And by the way, Josh and Penny, I know that you're talking about what I said about putting the seed in your mouth and then planting it. There's something else that you can also do, and I know that this may be prolonging things a little bit, but hey, I'm just going to say this and then we're going to move onward. But water, many people don't understand that all of nature is here to serve and to be a blessing to us, and we're here to be a blessing to nature. We're here to take care of it, right? We are here to harmonize with nature. That this is the first job that the Most High gave Adam. He gave him the ability to contact nature and to plant and to grow. I mean, Adam was an outdoorsman, right? He was in the thick of nature. But guess what happens? When you look at water and understand that water can be charged energetically, even by your very intentions. I'm going to tell you this, and then I am going to move on. But there was a experiment done whereby scientists were going to be working, they were working with mice, and they were also preparing to do another experiment. So they had some cyanide, and they put the cyanide, even though it was in plastic packs, and it was sealed tight. They put that in water, right? Because they didn't even want air blowing on them. They just wanted to make sure that it was safe. So they put the cyanide packets in the water, okay? Now, they later, after they were done doing their little experiments, they took the water and they gave the water, because they figured, these packs, they didn't leak, they're all good. Well, yeah, the water took on the very nature of what was in the packets of cyanide, to the degree that when the mice drank the water, which by the way they tested and they found no traces of cyanide or any poison whatsoever in the water, the mice died as if they themselves had received cyanide poisoning. The water took on the properties and the energy of what was surrounding it. So when you drink your water, okay, sometimes what I do is I will take my water and listen, please, city water is dead. Get you some spring water, okay? City water is dead. Yes, it's still water, but it's been so abused and polluted. It is not what it is intended to be. You get some spring water, and every now and then I will grab the glass and I will put my intentions. If I'm having an issue in a certain area, I will focus on that issue and I will interject the intention of that water assisting me, because it's there to serve me. The Most High gave me that water in order to bless my body, in order to bless what I do on this planet. And so all of nature is here to serve and to be of service to the sons of and daughters of the Most High, and that's you and I. So put intention into your water, okay, and drink it, okay? Drink it, and know as you're drinking it that water is doing what it is supposed to do. It's bringing about healing, rejuvenation, strength, and health, so forth and so on. And by the way, you can do this with any natural product. Water is the most absorbent, if you will, of those kinds of energies and those kinds of things. And so with that being the case, and I don't have, yeah, no, it is wild. It is wild. Look up Dr. Emoto, okay? It's either E-N-A-T-O, I think it's Emato. It could be E-M-O-T-O, who did the water experiments, where he simply put names on bottles of water, and then he froze them, and the water changes into different shapes based upon the words that were put on it. Find it. And so with that being the case, I simply want to say we are blessed of the Most High. And there are so many things that we will discuss, so many things that we will be getting into. But for now, Yes, Dr. Emoto. Yes, Christine Croning. It's just some very interesting stuff. And then understand that you are, some of us are 75 to 80% water, right? Understand then that you can also charge your own water. Come on, somebody. So, hey, peace and blessings to you. Wow. Yes. J&P said, hey, this is crazy because the Most High has been telling me this about water, and it's kind of mind-blowing. Oh, yes, it is. It is. Follow suit, and hey, it'll bless you. It'll bless you. Well, peace and blessings, my brothers and my sisters. I love you. I'm so glad that you took out the time to be with me. Even though I've gone a little bit over, I want to thank you for your time and your attention. And may the Most High continue to bless you. Yah willing, we will see you on Shabbat morning for Shabbat morning coffee. And may the Most High bless you. Remember, you are blessed coming in. You're blessed going out. You are blessed in the city when you conduct your business. You're blessed in the field where you make your products and you produce. You are blessed in everything that you set your hand to do. May He smile upon you and keep you. He keeps you from all danger, right? For we dwell in the secret place of the Most High. We abide under the shadow of the Almighty. And we rest under His wings. And in Him we do trust. He is our shield. He is our protection. He is our guide. And He is our all in all. It is because of Him that we are righteous. It is because of Him that we are His people. It is because of Him that we are chosen. It is because of Him that we are protected. It is because of Him that His angels are encamped round about us, because we love Him and we fear Him and we delight in Him. I bless you, each and every one. May you be blessed. May you be charged and enriched. May you be strengthened. And may you hear and be blessed in what the Most High wants you to do. May the Most High smile upon you. Love you all. Peace and blessings to you. Shalom.